Greetings to everyone who's about to come on, and I'm hoping that you have had a blessed and great day. Today, I'm going to dedicate this particular uh, show podcast to Ralph McNeal Jr. And I say that because in his Masonic jurisdiction, uh, the man was probably a legend. He loved and well liked, and people really respected him in his jurisdiction. And I just want to commend the brothers of the craft on that behalf. Now, for those of you who don't know Ralph McNeal Jr., he was a Prince Hall Masons. If I'm not mistaken, he was a member of the Grand Lodge of Arizona. He and I really never seen eye to eye, and he always considered me to be less than a Mason and in clandestine. That was his thing. But however, not long ago, also Brother Debo Teller passed away. He was very dear to me. I loved him. I mean, I really that brother really touched me. And I'm drawing this contrast between both of these gentlemen, well-respected Masons on different sides or different jurisdictions. I'm drawing this contrast because when I view Ralph McNeal Jr., I'm quite sure that, as I said before, in his jurisdiction, he was a legend. In his jurisdiction, amongst brothers of the craft, he was well loved, well liked, well respected. I can say that. The same will play out for Brother Debo Teller. And as I look at these two gentlemen, it's quite strange that one of the emblems of masonry is the hourglass. And it teaches us that time waits on no man. Time doesn't care whether you or who or what, it does not care. But what happens during that brief moment, during that time span between light and darkness, is what have you done with that moment, with that time that has been given to you. And tonight we're going to talk about the hourglass and how the sands keep passing through the hourglass until the last grain of sand drops. And it reminds me of of a coded book. It reminds me of a great scripture out of the VSL, Volume of Sacred Law. It reminds me of Ecclesiastes 12. And we're going to go through that tonight. And for those of you who know exactly what I'm talking about, follow along with me because I want you to be reminded of the hourglass. I want you to understand that no matter what jurisdiction you're in, no matter how you may feel about that brother of the craft or that sister of the order, as I've said many times before, the great equalizer is going to come knocking at your door. And you're going to have to be an accountant. You're going to have to answer. You're going to answer that door. And the unique thing about it all is, what did you do with the time that you have? What did you accomplish? What did you get out of Freemason? What did you put into it? Did you use those working tools that was handed to you as a brother of the craft? It is not that Freemasonry teaches a good man to be a better man. It teaches you how to be a mason, a builder amongst men, meaning that I'm going to tear down what you see right now before you, and I'm going to build it up. And as I build up, there are things that's going to be handed to me along the way to help me to be successful. And in the process, I'm going to go through some levels until I get to a particular space, a particular spot to where I'm going to be able then to say I have accomplished, I have been found to be proficient, I have been successful. You're going to get to a point to where people are going to consider you a workman amongst the temple. They're going to consider you to be a master at some of the things that you have been given. whether it be a trowel, a level, a square, a plumb, whether it be I can't think of the name of that, whether it be a pickaxe, whether it be a shovel, whether whatever those tools that are going to be handed to you on this journey, you're going to have to master some of those tools because they're going to be used to assist you in becoming a better mason. Okay, that's what they're going to do. So tonight we're going to have this discussion about the hourglass, and I would need you to think in regards to the VSL Ecclesiastes 12, because we're going to break this thing down, because Ecclesiastes 12 plays a very important part in the Masonic growth. It plays a part, and in the part that it plays, it helps. It should help you to understand that you're going to go through some stages in life: youth, manhood, and age. And what does that look like for a young enter-apprentice, a young fellowcraft, and a master mason? What does that look like? How do you perceive this whole thing to come to a complete circle? What does it look like? What have you done with this time, this process of understanding the symbolic degrees of Freemasonry and how you applied it and what are you doing with it? So tonight we're going to take a look at some of this. And if you want to call in, you're certainly welcome to do so. The call-in number, if you choose to, I'm going to put it right here tonight. This is going to be the call-in number tonight. So if you want to call in, you're certainly welcome to do so. But tonight we're talking about the hourglass. We're talking about brother Ralph McNeal Jr. Yes, I called him brother. I did. And some of you may be wondering, why would I call him brother? Some of you are wondering, he would never have called you brother. But you know what? This is where growth comes into play. This is where growth comes into play. This man was loved by somebody. He was a father, maybe. I don't know much about him, but tonight I'm talking about him being on one spectrum of one jurisdiction, and there's Brother Debo Teller on another one. And both of these individuals touched somebody in their lives. In the hourglass, which is the emblem of Freemasonry, the last grain has fallen. So tonight we're going to have this conversation just for a brief moment, and we're going to take a look at Ecclesiastes 12. But for those of you who understand where I'm going with this, follow along. And if you want to participate in this discussion, you're certainly welcome to call in. So it says in this particular passage in Ecclesiastes, it says to remember your creator or thou creator in the days of thy youth, before the days of trouble come. So what does the days of trouble look like? And why does it tell you to remember your creator in the days of your youth? What does that look like? I pondered that, and I'm only going to share with you my conclusion in looking at this. And when it says to remember thy creator in the days of thy youth, I take upon this as a remembrance of my parents while I'm young. Remember the love that they gave me. Remember the joy that I had in seeing my mom, my dad, the conversations, the upbringing. Now, I'm not saying everybody had that type of upbringing. I'm applying this to my life, and I would hope that you would take a look at this and apply it to yours along the way, because all of us did not have the same upbringing, and some of us was pretty rough when we was coming up. This is why you have that rough ashlar and that perfect ashlar, and they give you these working tools to kind of shape it into a perfect ashlar to be able to sit on the northeast corner of the lodge, and there is that foundation. So you have to bring all of that into play. You have to bring all that into play. So when it says to remember thy creator in the days of thy youth, okay, before the days of trouble comes, that is saying to me to remember your childhood, to remember how it was, how it was fun to go outside and play. Remember that even now for those who are gamers, how fun it is, even when you go out and you shoot pinballs or whatever. Remember that youth and how the zeal that you had of just enjoying life. This is what it's saying to you. And then it says, and the years approach when you will say, I find no pleasure in them. What does that look like? That means to say that you're going to get older. And the things that you once enjoyed in life, the things that you thought, the things that you was like, yeah, all yippee about, those pleasures are going to gradually decrease. I mean, I look at me, man, I'm like, man, I used to love to go play ball. I mean, with a passion. Saturday mornings, I'm going to ball out. When I was in college, balling out. 2 workouts a day, you did the ball. I mean, you did those things. If you was an athlete, you know exactly what I'm saying. Okay, for those who enjoyed, whether it was riding a bike or whether it was running, whatever those things that was passion that drew you, that really pushed you to become better and better. This is what it's saying. It's saying that when you approach this time in life, those things that you had passion for, they're gonna gradually decrease. I don't ball nothing like I used to. I don't, I every now and then I may feel like, hey, I want to go out and do it, and I go, but boy, I'm paying for it in the end. I'm like, oh my God, my knees, my elbows, I'm like, wow. But I have the passion. I just don't have that. And when you in life, in your youth, you know what that is, you know what that zeal is, man. You got it. So this is telling me that when the years begin to approach, I'm going to lose some of that. Okay, I'm not going to always find pleasure in those things that I once found pleasure in. Okay, and then it says, before the sun and the light and the moon and the stars grow dark. And that is clearly say that, the older I get, that light, that light, that the energeticness that I had, it's going to become dim. That get up and you go to the gym. You don't even have to stretch. You know what I mean? For those who balled out, for those who ran, that was the time you get up and you just boom, you can just take off running. Now you got to stretch, you got to do all those things before you even begin to move good. So this is what this is driving on. It's telling you that in your youth you got that zeal, but as you get older, you're going to be losing some of that zeal, and then you're going to realize, I don't necessarily really want to get up early in the morning. I don't really want to just go ball out. I just want to relax for a second. So this is where we're at with this. So I just want to tell everybody, greetings to you. I hope that you're enjoying this conversation. And tonight we are actually talking in regards to, in my own opinion, two great Masons. One being Ralph McNeal Jr. and the other one being Debo Taylor L. And I say that because both of these men have touched somebody in their life, okay, masonically speaking. Both of these men were family men. And whether you like them or not, there was something about them that drew other people to them, or maybe it pushed them away. I don't know, but I can only speak from my engagement on both ends. And like I said, I know how, from our conversation, I know how Ralph McNeal felt about me, and I know that he knew how I felt about him. But to say that is to say that in life, we're going to have to grow. You're going to have to set aside and be able to pass that olive branch over. You're going to have to be able to do that. And if you don't do it, it's quite okay. Some people just say, forget about it, just go the other way. And that's all right. But you can't carry that with you, though. If you are able to do it, but don't carry it with you. Okay? And just as in the hourglass, as we go through life waiting for that last grain to slip, you got to be doing some work. You have to be working on this to make it a perfect ashlar, to fit in that northeast corner where everything else in the foundation of your Masonic lodge or it rests upon that particular ashlar, that rock, that brick, whatever you want to call it, it rests right there. So as we grow in Freemason, we understand the youth, the manhood, and the age. So tonight we're talking about Ecclesiastes 12. Greetings, everybody who's on. I hope that you're doing well. I hope your family is blessed on this day. And do me a favor, please hit that thumbs up button. I certainly would appreciate it. Hit the like button and definitely share. Share this streaming, share this video, okay? So as we go in, all right, we'll go down to and it says in the clouds return after the rain. Okay, that's verse 2. It says, before the sun and the light, and the moon and the stars grow dark, and the clouds return after the rain. What does that look like? That the clouds return after the rain. You ever been in your life where you're crying, and then after you've let all of your tears out, it seems like everything is fresh and renewed? This is that part of the scripture, verse 2, in that part of the scriptures that, in life, you're going to cry. You're going to have those moments and you're going to tear up. You're going to drop them tears, bro. And sisters, you're going to drop them. And what's going to happen is that once all those tears are gone, you're going to dry your eyes and you're going to continue on walking the Lambeth of life. You're going to continue on traveling the level of life. You're going to continue on until that last grain of sand has dropped. That's what you're going to do. All right. Now, as you continue on this life journey through youth, manhood, and age, as you move forward, it says that when the keeper of the house shall tremble. Okay. Simply saying that when you get older, man, you ain't gonna be tripping no more. When you get older, you're a lot calmer. You say you're pretty unfiltered. Look, older people are pretty unfiltered for one thing, but in the process of them being unfiltered, in the process, they know, look, man, I don't want no trouble. That's why most older people, they carry it with them because they don't want to deal with it. They don't want to argue with you. They already fragile. They ain't got time for that. They don't have time for it. So it goes on and says, and the strong man should stoop when the grinders should cease, because they are few. That is simply saying that I'm 6'3" right now. And as when you get older, unless you take care of your posture, you're going to have that bent. And you know what I'm saying? You're going to have that bent. And you've seen plenty of older men and women with the bent. Okay? That's that stoop. You're going to have that stoop. And in having that stoop, your grinders, these teeth, these things, man, ain't going to be no more. They're going to pull them all and probably put you some fake ones in there. Or you can get them denture implants. However you're going to do it. They coming out. Unless you just one of them individuals that really took good care of those grinders, and they're going to be in there for a long time. But you got to know what I'm saying. I'm just breaking it down to you. This Ecclesiastes 12 is deep. If you are a part of the craft, you know it's deep. You just hadn't taken your time to read it. I'm just reminding you that hourglass teaches us that one day that last grain of sand is going to drop out. It's coming. All right? It's coming. So, as we continue, it says the strong man will stoop when the grinders cease, because they are few. And then it goes on and says, and those looking through the windows grow dim. That says that these eyes, them cataracts, bruh, they gonna be dim. You're gonna need extra light. You're gonna need them to go in and remove the cataracts off your eyes because they're growing dim. You're gonna need them thick Coca-Cola bottle glasses to see. Them things are growing dim. Okay, this is what's going on with that part of the scripture when it breaks it down. When it says that, when the keeper of the house shall tremble, and the strong man shall stoop, when the grinder shall cease, And because they are few, and those that looking through the windows are going to grow dim. This is clearly what it's saying. What's going on, everybody? I hope that you're getting something out of this. Tonight, we're talking about two prolific Masons to me, Ralph McNeal Jr. and Brother Debo L. Taylor. I mean, both touch individuals masonically in their own way. And tonight, I'm just paying a tribute in regards to McNeal. Although we didn't agree on too much of anything, we did not. I've said some things to him, and I meant what I said. I'm that guy. And he probably meant what he said because he's that guy. But however, the great equalizer, death, teaches us a valuable lesson. But yet soon forgotten that, yea, each one of us must sooner or later pass through the valley of the shadow of death, to where you will hear no more calls of a loved one, no more crying. You will not be able to feel or touch the person who claimed that they love you. That's something that we should take very serious in this craft we call Freemasonry, and really start to build and to gel upon those things, and taking your working tools, which are supposed to help you to be a better Mason instead of a good man. See, you're supposed to already be a good man when you come to this thing. So let's continue. And it goes on to say, when the doors of the street are closed and the sounds of the grinders fade, when the people rise up of the sounds of the birds, but all their sounds grow faint. Now check this out. We're going to take, this is verse 4. We're going to take this from the top, because this whole thing is so deep. It is just so, man, it really sheds a light that in masonry, there's a part within our works that we do when we first come in. We're supposed to be placed in an anteroom. And the anteroom teaches you so much. The anteroom, it is a place, when you go in there, you should reflect. You should begin that journey right there. Okay? That, to me, that's when you begin that journey. That's my thing. That's when you begin that journey. So let's continue. Close this out. Let's continue. Good evening. Hey, Brother Mike, what's going on with you? So they passed away. Brother Debo L. Taylor passed away a few months back, and Brother Ralph McNeal Jr. just recently passed away in January. That's the word that I got. So tonight, I'm looking at these two awesome Masons in a way to where they was able to touch another brother's life, another sister's life. They put the work in. Like I said, whether I agree or not, they put the work in. They did their thing while they was here. And the question remains, what are you going to do with the time that you have remaining here? Because having that particular emblem as a Mason tool, working tool, that hourglass, man, you should be looking at all of those 8 emblems that you get. And you should begin to apply those 8 emblems daily within your lifestyle and your journey. I'm not saying you're going to be perfect with them, but as you begin to place them where they should go, it helps you to become a better Mason. Okay, so as we look at Ecclesiastes 12, and now we're talking about verse 4, where it says, when the doors of the streets are closed, and the sounds of the grinders are few, and when the people rise up at the sound of the birds, but their songs grow faint. Check this out. Man, this thing right here. Check this out. So when it says that the doors to the streets are closed, that means that front door that you used to just get up and just run out of, and you didn't really care about leaving your doors open, you making sure before you go to bed every night, the doors are locked. You doing that thing. You making sure when you leave home, your house is shut up. You make it, even when you're in your house, it's closed. Them doors are closed. Nothing is open. When you're young, see, when you're young and have that vigor and that zazz about yourself, when you have that oomph about yourself, man, you can leave a door open. Because you daring somebody to walk up in there. Because you're going to lay hands, you're going to put them hands on them. So, you know, when you get older, man, you're locking that up, man. You ain't trying to put hands on nobody. You're going to do them in, but it ain't going to be with no hands. So when you hear this part of the scripture in verse 4, when it says the doors to the streets are closed, it's talking about the doors from your house going to the streets. That's what that's talking about. Them things are locked up. And then it goes on to say, the sounds of the grinders fade. That means these things here, man, it gets lower and lower and lower. This is why working in the medical field, people with high-pitched voices, when they're talking to somebody, they're doing, the older people going, what you say? What you say? That's what they're saying. Because they can't hear. They can only hear low volume. High pitches, no. Not having them. Not having them at all. Those pitches are going to be low, and some of them are going to be fading away. Plain and simple. So as you get to that part, it goes on to say, when the people rise up at the sounds of the birds, but all the songs grow faint. You know, the older I get, I go to bed early and I rise up early. That's the truth. Come on now. If you hitting that 40, hitting that 50, going, man, look, you ain't trying to do all that. You look, if you ain't trying to do all that. Now I ain't saying that everybody's rolling like that. I'm just saying that you ain't trying to do it all, not like you used to. You ain't going to the club and then you're gonna go out and come back and you're gonna get up and go to work like you used to. You ain't doing that no more. What you're doing is you're saying, well, you know what? I'm gonna go early. I'm gonna go to happy hour. I'm gonna hit that up. And about 7 o'clock, I'm gonna make it back home. By 8, boom, 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 I'm down. 10, I'm out. You know? And every now and then you might hit 12 o'clock. But most of us need a nap during the daytime. Come on now. Somebody talk back to me. Most of us need a nap during the daytime. To those brothers, salute to their contribution. Oh, most definitely, man, because they put in the work. Let's just be honest. Ralph McNeal Jr. put in the work. Whether I agree with him or not, he put the work in. Brother Debo Teller L, the brother put the work in. Simple as that. And these two giants, I consider them giants. If you know them, you probably consider them giants. Really, in their own way, they set the example of how to be a Mason amongst other brothers. They did that. I don't take nothing from them. I can agree to disagree. I just don't take nothing from anybody. I'm learning as I move forward in life that I can't take that with me. I have to be able to pass the olive branch, although it may have thorns in it, and move forward. Boom. You could take it or let it alone. But I can't, some things you just got to move. You just got to do. Greetings, brother. Oh, you're back in San Diego? Welcome back in San Diego, my brother. Welcome back. Maybe we can do lunch or something tomorrow. But let me know. Let me know, brother. Let me know. All right. So as we move forward, and we're talking about brother Ralph McNeal Jr., who was the Prince Hall Mason, and we're talking about my brother Debo L., okay, who was ancient, free, and accepted. Two brothers, two different spectrums of Freemasonry, agreed to disagree on some issues, but yet was well respected in their own jurisdiction where they was able to touch people in their lives. That's what they did. Whether you agree with them or whatever jurisdiction they were in, but that's what they did. And that's the truth. That is what it is. All right. And then it says, when the people rise up at the sound of the birds, yeah, you get older and go to bed early, bro. You get up with the birds. And then it says, but all of their songs grow faint, meaning that the older you get, the hearing begins to go, and you don't hear the birds like you used to hear them. You don't. They don't sing like they used to sing. And then it says, when the people are afraid of heights, in verse 5, it says, when the people are afraid of heights, when you get a little older, you ain't climbing on top of the house no more. And you ain't jumping down off the house anymore. See, I'm a country boy. I did that at one time. You climb up, you jump down, you thought you were Superman, you was invisible, you did stuff like that. Some of us have jumped out of one-story windows and we've done some crazy things. Some of us have done those things. But when you get older, you ain't trying to jump out of windows no more. You ain't trying to crawl out of them either. You ain't trying to go on top of the house and put up Christmas lights. You probably hiring some kid down the street, or maybe your nephew or somebody, but you ain't doing all that like you used to. I'm not saying that everybody don't. I'm just saying for the majority, everybody ain't getting down like that no more. No. When you hit a certain age, you're like, no, baby, I ain't going up there. Nah. I'm gonna hire somebody. I'm gonna go and get me some day labor. I need for you brothers to put up these Christmas lights. Or some of you, like my wife, she still says, shit, I'm gonna put my stuff up. She do. She just throw it up there. She don't get my son, but she does that. I'm just saying. And then it goes on in verse 5. It says, in the danger in the streets when the almond tree blossomed. That is clearly to say that we know there's nothing but danger in those streets. And we know that the old, when this right here, this thing right here, man, that's that almond tree. That thing gonna turn gray. That's that almond tree, bruh. It's gonna turn. No matter what you do, it's gonna turn. Now you can keep dyeing it up all you want to, but it's there. It is there. Be true to you. It's there. And I'm true to me. It's there. I'm just saying. That's where we're at with that. Greetings, brothers and sisters. Brother Pooler, what's going on? Most Wishful Omega Lodge, number 17, Most Wishful Harem Grand Lodge jurisdiction. What's happening with you? MD in the house. Glad to have you along, brother. Glad to have you along. So as we continue, we're in Ecclesiastes verse 5 right now. We're breaking down this verse and applying it to Freemasonry in the hourglass, because we know that is one of the emblems of Freemasonry. We know also that the sand drops into the last grain and time has slipped away. So now here we are. It says, when the almond tree has blossomed and the grasshopper drags itself along. That means that you who were ballers at one time, you had a 40-inch vertical or 30-inch vertical, and you was dunking the ball and you was just finger rolling, and you was doing all of that. See, you ain't doing that now. You might just have a jump shot, or you might be able to fake it until you make it, but you ain't doing all that now. You ain't trying to go to the hole with soul. You ain't doing none of that now. Clearly, old grasshopper, them knees are gone. They shot. They ain't getting you off the ground like they were 15 years ago. 10. They ain't doing it. Nope. Prime example. The guy that ran track. What was his name? The fast guy that ran track from Jamaica. Usain Bolt. That brother was fast. And he still can outrun a lot of people right now. But he's not outrunning the best of the best no more. He's not doing that anymore. So what does he do? He said, look, I'm good. I had a good run at it for about 10 years thereabouts. I'm going to pull back. I've done my thing. I got gold medals and I made my money. I'm pulling back. Hey, them things give up, man. Them knees, when they go to crawling and crying, and you ain't doing them. You ain't jumping like that no more. As a matter of fact, you ain't riding that bike up that hill like that no more. You get off that bike and push it up the hill. And that's the truth. What's going on? Appreciate you. William Woodson, what's going on, man? How you doing today? So let's take a look at it. All right. So we're still in verse 5. All right. And then it says, and the desires no longer is there. Okay. The desires are no longer there. So you know how you thought that you had this passion for everything, and those desires that you had, be it whatever they may be, they faded. Nah, you ain't doing it no more. You ain't laying it down no more. You ain't putting it up no more. You ain't no. Mm-mm. Them desires, although you may think, although you know this mind telling you, yeah, you can do it. It ain't happening. Nope. You ain't running that fast no more. You ain't jumping that high no more. All right. You ain't doing it that long no more. All right. Nope. It's a Mike Tyson fight. One hit a quitter. You done. You out. That's all. That's all you got to give. This is not an Ali George Foreman fight. You ain't got 12 rounds to give. You give it maybe 1 or 2 rounds and it's over. You're done. You probably need about 2 weeks to recuperate after that one time. That's the truth. Come on, you can talk back to me. Y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. What's going on there, Johnny Teller? Hope everything is well with you there, bruh. Greetings, greetings, and greetings. And then as we get farther into it, it says that the people go to their eternal homes, and the mourners go about the streets. That is clearly say that after it's all said and done, the last grain has slipped through the grass, through the hourglass. That last grain has done its thing, and they have placed you in the ground, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. You go back to the earth. You go back. All right. And the funny thing is that the mourners, they go right back to doing their thing. Those who cared for you, those who cried, those who loved you, those who you hung out with, you had a beer, you did your thing, you ran the street with them, you did all of that. When the next day come, although they will miss you, they will continue on to their journey. They will continue that journey. That's the thing that they do. The people will go to you will go to your eternal home, but the mourners are going to go about the streets. After they get through feasting at the place where they're going to have your services at, after they get through feasting, they're going to go back to the streets, bro. And you're going to go on to your eternal home. And that's all going to be said and done. I'm not saying that you're going to be forgotten, but that's going to be the end of that. And if you haven't done anything between that space where that level sits, if you haven't done anything with the sand while it was in the hourglass before the last grain slipped away, if you haven't done anything, if you haven't touched anybody's life, if you haven't helped or assist or aided and helped the sister walk the labyrinth of life, if you haven't taught a brother how to be the best mason that he can be, and you haven't done those things, but all you've done is chaos, man, you have wasted time. You wasted it. You've done nothing with it. You caused chaos and hurt and pain. That's what you gave. And now you're gone. Or did you give love? Did you take that trial? Were you industrious like the bees? Did you take that pickaxe and go into the hard soil to make it fertilize, more fertile? Did you do that with that pickaxe? Did you take that crowbar and begin to churn and to move rocks and bricks and did you do that with those working tools? Were you swift like an eagle? Were you like a dove? That's in a whole nother degree. You'll get there. But man, this thing gets deep. It gets deep. There's someone in the end, when it was all said and done, lay an acacia at your head. They laid it. They laid the apron. It says that it was more honorable than anything a potentate or a king can bestow upon you. It was more ancient than the Roman fleets of Rome and more armory worn. The apron, that lambskin apron. What are they going to say? What greatness did you do? What greatness did you leave behind? Did you build bridges while you was here? Or were you a destroyer? Or did you just say, hey, you know what? Forget about it. I don't care nothing about it. Were you that guy? Or were you the other guy that said, you know what, we cool, bro. You know what? I know that you in this jurisdiction. I know that you're here, but you know what? We're gonna build this bridge. We're gonna do the work that we're supposed to do. Sister, I know we're not in the same chapter. I know that, but you know what? We're both walking the Lambeth of life. We're gonna do what we're supposed to do as sisters of the order of the Eastern Star. And brothers, we're gonna do what we have to do as brothers of the craft. Because it's not about your jurisdiction at all. When it's all said and done, man, this is not about your jurisdiction. The grand architect of the universe is not asking to see your dues card. He's not asking, hey, can I see your dues card? I want to know if you're this or that. No, he ain't asking that. Did you take your working tools and use them? Were you industrious? Were you able to lay a solid foundation for those who were coming behind you? Were you able to build the next brother up? Did you teach them the symbolic meaning behind these 8 emblems as a master mason? Did you teach them how to use this trial to spread the cement of brotherly love? Did you break down the understanding of what it was to pass the olive branch? Did you give him the ark of safety and give him that place to where if he was hurt, he was hungry? Did you offer him that space of ark of safety to go into? Were you able to give him an anchor so he would be able to drop it and then he was being still, that he was not movable, even though the wind would come and it would move the ark side to side, but he was stable. She was stable. Did you do that? I'm just saying. These emblems that we get as we go through our degree work of Freemasonry is to teach us various things in life symbolically, because that is the first language. The first language is symbolism. The first language is symbolism. Greetings, everybody who's coming on. I hope that you're doing well today. Man, isn't that the truth? It's crazy that we who are Masons and Eastern Stars and the privilege that we have to be in this great society amongst individuals who are great in their own way, but yet we waste our time. We waste it all. And I'm finding in my walk, in my life, in this journey that I'm on, I don't have time to waste. I don't. You only get 70 years plus, what, about 5? But 70 tops. That's what it says in the VSL. And so when you begin to see it from that point of view, a lot of us only have about 30 years left. That's a fact. Let's look at the numbers. If you are 25 right now, you got 30 years to go. If you're 25 right now, you got about 30 years to go. If you're 50 right now, well, if you're 50, you got about 30. 25, well, no, if you're 25, you got about 50. If you're 25 right now, you got about 50 years to go. And that's going to be it. If you're 30 right now, you can tack on 30, you can tack on 50, give you 80. Some of us going to reach 80, some of us not. Some of us going to reach 60, some of us not. You don't have long to be on this rock, but you just take and dwindle away. You squander your time. Is this it? You take it and just throw it to the swines? Is this what you do with the time that you have? Is this what it's all about? And if that is true, then you need not to even be a part of this society. If you're going to waste your time, if you're not about helping and building up and strengthening and doing the things you're supposed to do as a human being, especially those of the brotherhood of the society for which we find ourselves in, you don't need to be in it. You don't. That's true. I don't care what color or race you are. I don't care your color. I don't care what color you are. Forget about race. We got the human race. But care what color you are. You can be pale. You can be orange, green, or yellow. Don't give a hoot. But you wasted an opportunity to do something great. You wasted it because you was debating and going through some BS with somebody. So you wasted that precious opportunity that you had to be great. And most of you are afraid to be great. You're afraid of the scrutiny and the spotlight that come on you for being great. So you crumble. When that light hits you, you crumble. You sang a song, said, "This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine." You sang the song, but you can't stand the light. You say, "Let there be light," but when it hits you, you crumble. You can't stand it. How is it that you're going to be great, but you can't stand the pressure of becoming great? This is why everything that is precious, everything that is worth something is hidden beneath the earth. This is why in some cultures, you find a woman fully clothed. You know why? Because she's precious. And everything she got is precious about her. So you're going to have to take off the layers of clothes to get to it. This is why gold, oil, pearls, precious minerals, they're all hidden. You got to go dig for it. And if you don't go dig for it, it ain't worth having. So you wasted your precious time. And the sands has slipped through the hourglass. And the last ones just fell. So you're gone. And you did nothing. You was too damn scared to become great. You was afraid. People talk about heroes. Nah, man. Heroes. Oh, I'm a fireman. I'm a hero. No, you're doing your job. That's your job. I'm a police officer. I'm a hero. No, that's your job. I'm a doctor. That's your job. I'm a nurse. That's your job. Just your job. It doesn't make you a hero for doing your job. No. Doesn't make you a hero. This is why greatness comes when you're able to stand out when nobody else wants to stand out. Because of the pressure makes greatness. You know, pressure makes greatness. Look at all these individuals on this shirt was able to withstand the pressure. That's what made them great. When the pressure came, they rose up. They didn't slumber. They didn't hunch. They was there on point. Every last one of them was great. And as we enter this month of February that's coming up, we got to remember the greatness. And not only remember the greatness, but become great ourselves. You can no longer sit idly by and say, well, you can't do that no more. Time is at hand. And the grains of sands is slipping through the hourglass. We have lost, in my opinion, two giants in Freemasonry. Brother Debo Teller and Brother McNeal. They're gone. They've done their job. What are you going to do? Are you going to still debate? Who right, who wrong? You this. Are you still going to do that? Or are you going to say, look, let's build. What you need over here, what you need over there. Let's do this. Let's do that. Let's pick this person up. Let's do that. What's going on, Brother Anthony Wright? Network. Greetings. Brother Tony McNeal was a big brother to me. May he rest in peace. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Masonry enhances your life if you choose to take those emblems and symbols of Masonry and look at them and then begin to flip them and work with them and move within them. If you can't do that, it does nothing for you. You're part of the groupies. You're part of the party people. You want to be, I'm a Mason. I'm a Mason. That's where you at. Greetings regarding sacrifices. Unfortunately, some of us Masons are not ready to be sacrificed. Time sleeps, and other things become that. Wow. That's a lot. And he's right. He's absolutely right. We're going to have to find great leaders within this organization. Or maybe I'm talking to you. Maybe you're the great leader. Maybe you're the it factor, within this jurisdiction, and be able to stand up and be that example of what a Mason, or the greatness of a Mason. Because all the great ones come through the doors. All the great ones. I mean, some real heavy hitters have come through the doors of Freemasonry. Real heavy hitters. When I think about Dr. Clark, heavy hitter, Mason. When I think about my brother Louis Farrakhan, heavy hitter, Mason. Thurgood Marshall, heavy hitter, Mason. Come on now. Look, just those few men alone, and so many other great ones that have walked through the doors. They was able to stand against the pressure. Are you that guy? Are you that sister? Can you stand against the pressure to become great? Are you willing to become great? That's another thing. Are you willing to become great? Some of us are not willing to become great. We don't want to have nothing to do with it. We like our comfort zone. We do. Some of us like our comfort zone, and we don't want to come out of it. So, and when you don't come out of it, this is what you get. You don't come out of your comfort zone. Some of us are so comfort in where we're at until when the rain begins to come in your life, you don't know how to swim. Some of us are so comfort in where we're at until when a storm comes in your life, you don't know how to do anything. You haven't prepared yourself. And so now that the storm is in your life, now that you are in a situation and it's terrible, you don't know what to do. Because the working tools that was handed to you, you just tossed them away. You set them over in the box. You thought you'll need them later. And you need them now. See, you need every one of them right now. You need the plumb, the level, the square, the 24-inch gauge. You need them now. You need to understand the beehive and what it meant for them to work industrialists together. You need that. But you don't want that. Okay? And you just tossed it. You don't know you don't know how to use a trowel because you never picked it up. When you became a master mason, you figured that you was good. You didn't know how to use a trowel. When you walked through the holies of holies along those banners and you entered, and as you gave the password through each one of them, they gave you some more working tools. They gave you the pickaxe. They gave you the shovel. They gave you the crowbar. And you didn't know what to do with them. You just laid them to the side. They gave you the shovel or the spade. I don't need that. They gave you the chisel and the mallet. I don't need that. And now that you need them, you have no clue of how to use them. Because you thought that once you became a master mason, you was good to go. That's what you thought. No, you wasn't ready for it. You wasn't ready. So look, I'm going to close out. I want to say thank you for coming in. To everybody, I appreciate you. I thank you so much. If you master those working tools, it would change your outlook on life, but it has to start with you. Remember, when you were first made a mason, that is when it has to start. Absolutely. It has to start then. But what happens is when a brother gets to the degree or become a sublime degree of a master mason, he thinks he's arrived, but yet he doesn't understand his work has just begun. And with that being said, brothers of the craft and sisters who have peeped in and peeped out, I want to say thank you. I hope that you've gotten something out of this, and maybe, just maybe, you will be able to take some of this and really consider looking at Masonry from a different point of view instead of the one you may have where you always want to debate and carry on and you might want to consider looking at this Society of Freemasons in the Order of the Eastern Star as something that is great and treat it like it's something great. You might want to start doing that because there's two pillars, strength and beauty. Two pillars. They poof, be gone. There will never be another Debo L. Teller. Never. Nothing like that guy. There will never be another Ralph McNeal Jr. Nothing like that guy. Never. Where do you stand? Where you at in all of this? Hey, until next time, remember this. Keep your light on, stay out the bushes. I am not your study guide. I'm here to help you study. I'm out. Peace and be well. And for those of you who came in the chat, I appreciate each of you. I hope, as always, that you've gotten something out of this. Hey, tell somebody about the channel. I certainly would appreciate it. John G. Jones Research Lodge, number 147. Brother John, I got your address. I got you. I want to say, Brother John, welcome to the Research Lodge 147. I will send you your certificate and your membership card, okay? I want to send you that big shout out. I want to say thank you. Peace to everyone. And remember your brothers in your prayers, your sisters also. I'm out.